We all remember senior civil servant Sue Gray, known for the Partygate scandal, revealing that with the Sue Gray reports. Well, now she's becoming Sir Keir Starmer's Chief of Staff. And in an interview with Nick Ferrari, he refused to answer when conversations around this began.
Might I ask when you first approached her to be your Chief of Staff?
I've been on the lookout for a Chief of Staff for a little while now. I'm very clear what I wanted in that. And obviously, Sue will set out that, but nothing improper at all. I've been on the lookout for a Chief of Staff. I'm really pleased that people of her calibre are interested in that.
So when did you approach, can I ask when you approached Sue?
Look,
if I may call her Sue?
I've been looking for a Chief of Staff for a number of weeks now.
I think October 2022, Sam White left you, if I've got that
Well, that's
correct.
when I lost, when Sam White moved on. At that stage, the first task I had for myself was being clear in my own mind what I wanted from a Chief of Staff, because I was beginning to think about how to deliver.
So I will try again, and obviously you don't have to answer, but when did you first contact Sue Gray about the possibility of becoming your Chief of Staff?
Well, Nick, that's going to be laid out by Sue. She's got to do that as part of a leaving procedure, but there's nothing improper at all.
But you can't tell me that.
Nick, nothing improper at all.
No, but you can't tell me when you first approached her.
I've been looking for a Chief of Staff for a little while now, but Sue will lay that out.
Why won't you tell me, Sir Keir?
There's nothing improper at all.
No. But just interested why you won't tell me when you first made contact with her.
I'm not going to go through lock, stock and barrel, but there's nothing improper. It's not unusual.
But if it's not improper, I'm sorry to... If it's not improper, why won't you say, it was a month ago, Nick, or it was 6 weeks ago, Nick, or it was on New Year's Day?
Darren, what do you think this shows off Keir Starmer?
Well, very interesting, I think. I actually, you might wonder why this story matters out of other stories like the migrant crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis. The list goes on and on. More people striking these days than since the 1970s. But actually, I think this story matters for one reason, and that one reason is Sir Keir Starmer. If the polls are to be believed, Jess, Sir Keir Starmer's going to romp it home, right? He stands a better chance of being in number 10 as I do, getting into, a pair size 30 wasted jeans. I mean, Sir Keir Starmer on the radio, as you say in that clip, he refused to actually say whether or not or when he actually identify when he contacted this senior civil servant in Sue Gray to become the Labour Party's Chief of Staff. Now, this matters because Sue Gray was supposed to be this almighty exemplar of ethics and propriety, in stark contrast to Boris Johnson, right? This impartial umpire, Miss Gray, stepped in to actually investigate Boris Johnson. And when you think of the name Gray, you think of the lady in grey and this very elegant, demure, creature that is there to actually ensure impartiality and all the rest of it is being abided by in politics. Now, she found Boris Johnson had some cake in Downing Street or whatever ultimately the report found. Well, now we don't know if this individual was actually in cahoots with the Labour Party whilst these purportedly impartial investigations were taking place. So much for impartiality, for integrity, and all the rest of it. It also, Jess, it actually speaks to Sir Keir Starmer as a person, because it completely rubbishes the idea that Starmer, as a silk or as a member of the King's Council, a senior lawyer, has all of this integrity and morality that Boris Johnson never evidenced in office. Well, look at what Sir Keir Starmer's done, what his record is since he was elected leader of the Labour Party. He scrapped his 10 pledges that he made to the Labour Party faithful that elected him. He U-turned on his stance on denying Brexit to the British public. He U-turned on Jeremy Corbyn being fit for the highest office in the land, despite campaigning for him twice. I mean, honestly, Jess, this all says to me that I wouldn't trust this man to run as a Bath, never mind run the country.